glad you're here. I'm trying to draw a picture, but I'm feeling stuck. I don't know what to draw. I'm not feeling very inspired. What's inspired? Inspiration is when your imagination is running wild. You just have to get your ideas out. Maybe your ideas come out as a story, a drawing. They can even come out as music or dancing. Have you ever felt stuck? It can be frustrating, I know. Let's read one of my favorite books. Hugo and Miles in I've Painted Everything by Magoon. It talks about this lack of inspiration. I'm pretty sure it happens to everyone at some point. Hugo and Miles in I've Painted Everything by Magoon. In the small city of Cornville, there lived a very creative artist named Hugo. One afternoon, he had just finished a painting.
"That's it,"
he said proudly as he finished it.
"I've painted everything."
But something was wrong. Hugo looked over his hundreds of paintings.
"I painted this, and that, and those, and him, and her, here, there, and everywhere. Oh no, I've run out of ideas."
He went to meet his best friend, Miles, for help. They ordered the usual, peanut butter burgers.
"I have nothing to do,"
sighed Hugo,
"because I've painted everything."
"Hugo, you are in an elefunk," said Miles. "I'll tell you what, I have very important business in Paris this week as I test one of my inventions. Come with me, you might be inspired to paint something new."
"I don't know, Miles. It's so far away, I'm not sure."
"Nonsense. Whenever I go on a trip," said Miles, "I think of new things as I see sights I've never seen. You will too. Trust me." So they flew to Paris. They spent days exploring the whole city. They went to a huge art museum called the Louvre.
"I've never painted that big," exclaimed Hugo. "What if I did?"
"Then your paintings would be Hugo-mongous,"
said Hugo.
They had a picnic.
"What if I painted with just one color?"
asked Hugo. "Then you would be Hugo."
Said Hugo.
They went to the Musée d'Orsay.
"What if I painted an impression of how I felt?"
"Then you'd be Van Hugo."
Said Hugo.
And on the evening before their last day in Paris, they sat to talk.
"What if I painted with light?"
"Hugo."
"Oh, Miles, this has been a fun trip, but I'm afraid I still don't know what to paint."
"Only one thing left to do," said Miles. "Go up the Eiffel Tower." The next morning, when they reached the top of the tower, their view of everything changed. Because they were so high up, the city looked entirely different than it had over the past few days. "Amazing structure!"
"Wow, Paris looks so different from up here. Tons to draw."
Suddenly, Hugo looked up and exclaimed,
"I've got an idea. Miles, we've got to go home,"
shouted Hugo. "But Hugo!"
"No, come on, back to Cornville."
"What is it? What is your idea?" asked Miles.
"It's been right in front of my trunk all along," Hugo replied. "I painted this, and that, and those, and him, and her, and it, here, there, and everywhere. But not from here."
Miles gasped. "Wow, Cornville looks so different."
"Yes,"
exclaimed Hugo.
"See, I thought I painted everything, but I haven't. My idea is that I can paint everything all over again, only differently. From here above, or here below, I can use one color, paint an impression, or use light instead of paint." I can change the size so that my canvas is humongous or even very small. Miles, if I just change the way I look at things, I'll never run out of ideas, said Hugo.
And he never did. Wow. I just love that book. Did you know that you can play with words? It's true. This book has a few examples of that. It's called A Play on Words. It's when you take a word and you play with its meaning or its spelling. For example, Miles says Hugo is in an elefunk. This is a word that the author created. If someone is in a funk, they're feeling sad, disappointed, or even a little frustrated. Basically, they aren't feeling quite like the happy version of themselves. Everyone gets into a funk now and then. Since Hugo is an elephant, Miles says he's in an elefunk. Get it? See what I mean? It's really clever, right? Hugomongus is another word playing with the word humongous. Humongous is another way of saying huge. Since we have an elephant named Hugo and elephants are huge animals, Hugomongus is a really fun way to say huge. Or more specifically, a way to say a huge painting by a huge elephant named Hugo. Hugomongus. Hugo is another word playing with the character Hugo's name. A hue is a shade of a color. For example, dark blue, light blue, sky blue. There's an endless number of shades of blue. So Hugo is a painting by our friend Hugo that's all one color. In this book, he painted Miles using only different shades of green. We've covered a lot today, so we're gonna take a break. Meet me here the next time. We will keep talking about Hugo and Miles and do a little art project, okay? Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.